In the year 1997, the future is in chaos and turmoil. Mankind is on the brink of extinction. Brave survivors band together and build a time displacement apparatus to receive a signal from a parallel future. This transmission is the Vundacast.
There's one team that kicks ass. They're assembled. They're the Vundacast. Never back down from the brass. Always start first. Never finish last. Had a mock speed. Bit too fast. Oh no, they're out of gas. It's okay there. Just a podcast. They're the greatest. We're the Vundacast.
Welcome to the Vundacast, the official podcast of Vundablog.com, the home of some Tromaville high commentary. I am your class president today, Steven, and with me today is the they of theys, our podcast champion.
I just can't lose any. Like, it's at this point, it's
Yeah.
like I just won another.
The only person on Earth other than Triple H to know that
Cody was
Cody is gonna get buried at WrestleMania.
Yeah, baby.
D-Rock in the house.
In the house. Yeah, I'm excited.
And
I noticed you said some Troma high commentary. I wasn't sure if you was like mean high like stoned,
exactly.
but also Tromaville high.
It's called wordplay.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
There you go.
Very impressive.
We're gonna do a commentary track, and we're gonna start it off. We are watching Class of Nuke'em High on the TromaNow app. We're gonna start the movie in 3, 2, fun, boom. And
Yeah, TromaNow app is like my new favorite thing. Steven just introduced me to this, and I am just hooked. I'm just watching everything I can get my hands on. I have like a list of my like top 20 fucking movies that I've watched on here already. So, but this is number one. This is the first one I watched. I watched it a month. I think it's gonna be exactly a month ago today, 4/20.
And this will commemorate your 9th viewing.
And this is my 9th time watching this movie, including one time watching the director's commentary to prepare for this illustrious podcast.
Whoa.
So-
and you went full fandom and you bought a VHS?
I bought a VHS, on friggin' eBay of this movie to watch it as the gods intended.
What a beautiful thing. And we start off a lovely Tromaville, New Jersey, but it starts off with the New York skyline and then pans over, like, on the other side of the water.
And Lloyd talks about, like, there was a nuclear power plant that they found out was going up in New Jersey. In Long Island is what he said. And built with taxpayer money. And that was kind of on his mind at the time that he was making Toxic Avenger and this movie. And so that's kind of the impetus of these political commentary stories of, nuclear disasters.
Yeah. And obviously the two most harrowing representations of nuclear disasters are HBO's Chernobyl,
Right.
and Class of Nuke'em High.
And Class of Nuke'em High,
1986.
yes. Of course. Yeah. No, and he also was talking about how supposedly they were like skimping on building materials for the plant. It was going to be cheap and flimsy, and I quote, like a Troma movie. So he decided, like, let's do that. Let's do a fucking cheap ass power plant. And he also mentioned that those shots of the school with the power plant behind it are actually the power plant is a model that's maybe a foot high, and they matted it. They had somebody that knew matting, so they matted it onto the shots of the school, and it actually looks really convincing.
And I should probably that'll be a good time to say that we're celebrating 420. This podcast is released on 420.
420 time.
And thus
we are
that's
our favorite holiday. And Steven asked me for a movie, and I did not hesitate. Said, of course, we have to do Nuke'em High, my new favorite weed movie. Very excited. I love this guy. This guy who is also in Toxic Avenger.
he's a great
He's a great
fat
villain.
authority, mustache, psycho. And I'm interested to everyone working at this facility wears their radiation suits both in and out of the facility.
Just all the time.
Make sure when you drive home from work, you're already in your radiation suit by the time you get to work.
Right. So apparently, Richard W. Haynes was actually supposed to direct this on his own, and Lloyd Kaufman, who I'm gonna just continue to refer to him as Lloyd because it's easier. I hope that's okay, Uncle Lloyd, if you're listening. Thank you for listening. But him and Michael Hertz decided that Richard Haynes was in over his head, and that Lloyd should come on and.
This guy's already ruining it. We gotta fix it.
Yeah, right.
Haynes is fucking it up. He doesn't get it's a joke.
Well, they felt that he was ready to do his own feature.
Okay, so he gets the taste of the water that we saw explode underneath.
The polluted water. Yes, there it goes.
Okay, and that's why.
And that's why he freaks out. Yeah. And he talked about how they did that with the stuff coming out of the ears is done with surgical tubing scotch taped behind his ears to squirt out, and then he chews up an Alka-Seltzer with some vegetable dye to get that beautiful trademark Troma foaming at the mouth, the green foaming at the mouth. Yeah, I love Dewey, man. I wish Dewey was in the movie more. Actually, he's such a likable character.
And I like the idea that they plant later, in that everyone who's acting weird and stuff, they were once honor school students.
Yeah. The Cretans used to be the honor society. Yeah.
So you get to think about how these classroom dynamics were different, before this power plant opened.
Right. Exactly.
I was actually thinking, what if Cretans had stood for chess, research, entomology.
They should have done that. Yeah. I'll do a little.
It was all their clubs coming together and then became Cretans.
That would be really funny.
I also too, I don't know if it's canon, but in my head, I like to imagine that all of these Troma movies take place in the same universe, since they're always referencing the same town.
Well, yeah, they're always talking about Tromaville, so I think that's a safe assumption. If you want to headcanon that, I think Lloyd would probably endorse that. There's one of the things about all these Troma movies that has been an interesting thing to me is they've made the F slur funny for me again. People, they just say
they're taking it back.
They say it so much, and
why?
It's always bad people that say it. First of all,
yes,
and also they say it in such funny ways. I remember there's a scene in Toxic Avenger where a guy gets his balls punched like a fucking boxing the bag at the boxing gym, and as he's walking away, he literally just goes, "I'll get you for this, you monster faggot!" And it's just so funny. How could you not laugh? But yeah, and I watched that movie Fag Hag recently, which is I really enjoyed also. So yeah, I mean it's kind of obviously
this is my favorite
bad.
Music cue. I think is this death and this
oh yeah,
high
and then
pitch speed
beat. And then straight into the title song is also great. And he talked about they did this with a puppet and some melted wax on top is what that is.
Well,
that's one way to evacuate the building.
Why did one of the students in the Cretans, why did they mutate into having a Hitler mustache?
I know, right? No, yeah, he talks about that in the commentary of he grew up in the shadow of World War II, so he always is like putting Nazi
References,
villains into his movies. So like there's the cop in Toxic Avenger. There's like, you know, this person with a Hitler mustache and Surf Nazis Must Die, which I have to say had way too many surfing Nazis and not enough dying Nazis.
Not enough dying.
Not enough Nazis dying.
I love the Tromaville High School jackets, like the baseball jackets. Like I would totally wear one of those to a comic convention or something.
That would be a cool item. I wonder if they've thought about. I mean, they merchandise everything, so I wonder if Lloyd has.
But
ever...
those look like they were like minimal effort put in. It looks like they just went to any store and were like, just write Tromaville High School.
Yeah. That's great.
But they made enough of them. They made like at least 8.
Yeah, right. No, I would totally buy one of those for like $50 if I had $50.
And if you want to give Derek $50, check out
Ad Infinitum.
Into the Void. Link in the comments. Full album on Bandcamp.
I've got so much shit coming up. I'm so excited. All these different projects.
As well as more music on their Patreon.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Link in the comments. Or in the description.
So, I found out by doing some research that, well, the director's commentary, that's really the research that I did. Samuel Wheel, which is the name, the name that Lloyd Kaufman uses, he actually used that he used that alias because he, like, I think it was the producers union, like you couldn't direct a film that you were producing, you get like kicked out of the union or something like that. Which they changed eventually, but he needed an alias. But that Samuel Wheel is actually his maternal great grandfather. So that's a cool little homage.
You gotta love this.
I love this, like the goo. That's one of the things that is always so satisfying about Troma movies. They might not be any good, but you know you're gonna get tons of goop, and it's gonna be super fun.
Nuke'em High.
I love this idea that the goop falls on her. Like, she looks at it too, and somehow she still thinks that's his cum. Like, that has to be why she slaps him. Otherwise, what the fuck? Like, she thinks he came on her.
I thought it was just slapping him for bringing him to this disgusting place.
Oh, well, I mean, she went with him. Like, I don't know. I always interpret that as, like, she thought he came on her.
The ultimate sin, premature ejaculation.
Yeah, exactly, and then she slaps him. It's also funny to me that character starts the movie with a girlfriend, a hot girlfriend, they're making out, and then for the entire rest of the movie he's portrayed as like this loser who can't get a girl to save his life. And it's like such a weird turn for his character. I love these two guys too. Everyone in this, like, Lloyd talks about this too in the director commentary about, like, everybody, like, is just going all out with their performances, their facial expressions, and look at this guy I love him on the left, just like constantly doing something and doing something weird and funny.
He's like Flock of Seagulls hair.
Yeah, I know, right? He looks so familiar too, like he was in something later on, but I don't know. I think it's just he just has one of those faces, maybe.
It may just be my room.
I love his thing about, like, the power plant's way too far away, at least a quarter mile. And her line there, maybe it's just my women's intuition.
And I love this, like, I feel like we don't get this anymore, but in 80s movies, there was always, like, this gang of, like, roving road warrior mutants that are in, like, weird science.
Even if it was, like, a high school equivalent.
The Cretans, there's always, like, somebody in the high school who is somehow part barbarian warlord.
Yeah, and part high school bully.
Yeah, so bully montage.
Yeah, just
violence.
walking around,
walking around grabbing your boobs. It's like, yeah.
It's funny too because these people need those students to buy their drugs also. So why are they're doing this? Is bad PR. Like,
So So do the Cretans look like this because of the radiation, or do every morning do they get together and do their makeup and
Yeah, right. Like
get
this
ready
is
for school?
this is how they mutated. No, that doesn't make any sense. They just. Yeah.
You still owe us money for the joints you bought yesterday.
I love how part of the bullying is her just like making out with him randomly. Like that's supposed to be her way of intimidating people, or maybe she's just a nympho. I don't know.
$20.
I'm into it.
I love it.
Everything
No, yeah.
the Cretan chicks do in this movie is super hot. Especially
I know.
the teacher that they turn.
I know. She's
the
so
hottest.
hot. She met this guy that plays I think his name is Spike, who's also in him, who's in Toxic Avenger also. They met through these movies and got married eventually. Yeah. Her name is Jennifer Baptist.
Lloyd was saying that he gets dominatrix fans who like this movie because of this
Yeah.
type of play. Yeah, step on his balls.
Yeah, man. And she gets like so aroused by it. She's so into it. I love that.
That's the shittiest cake I've ever seen in my life.
I know, it's so bad.
Holy shit.
Lloyd was saying that they put this scene in later in post-production because
I wanted to add.
there wasn't enough action in the beginning of the movie. He also talks about how his wife and daughter are in this scene. They're actually standing in front of the motorcycle. He says because we needed somebody to stand in front of the motorcycle and we didn't want to risk any of our actors, so my wife and child. This is a good stand-in for that.
Yeah, your own kids aren't going to see it.
I love this. Might be my favorite scene of Gonzo where he actually gets to like talk, and he's so funny.
Keep the stinking phone to yourself, alright?
He's defending the honor of MTV so hard.
Get some weed from the power plant. I got a date with
Murphy. Yeah, this is a weird accent.
But his voice also sounds like
Like mutated.
no, like a character on. I'm not sure which one, but it sounds like he could fit into the Toxic Crusaders cartoon. Like it has that.
I love this line.
You get when you're in love with the yuppie.
Love with the yuppie. And his delivery is so great on that too.
He's one of the editors of the movie.
Yeah, he's like an editing assistant.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. I don't know if he's ever been in anything else, but
So at one point, did the Honor Society learn to ride motorcycles?
yeah, that's one of the things
Get
they have
motorcycles.
honors in is motorcycle driving.
Motorcycle
101.
lessons.
And these like film canisters that are painted to look like radioactive lunchboxes.
See, that should be for sale at TromaNow.com.
Yeah, man, they should merchandise everything in this movie.
Radioactive lunchbox. Let's go.
All my favorite songs playing now. So good. The music, we were just talking about this, the music in this movie is so fucking awesome. There's so many great... I mean, it's only like 5 different songs, I think, that are just needle dropped at various points in the movie, but they're all so good. The title song is fucking amazing. And this song called Angel by this group called GMT I think is probably my favorite song. I actually get distracted listening to it while it's playing in the movie and like forget to listen to like what's going on in the movie.
Relax, Ronnie. Why don't you go play with some plutonium or something, huh?
Yeah, this was the moment where I knew this was gonna be one of my favorite movies. Where, like, it's already amazing, but now the main catalyst of the main conflict is radioactive weed being smoked by the students. Oh, how could I not love this? Perfect movie for 420. Also, these are rubber marijuana plants because they do not allow any drugs or alcohol on the set.
Wise policy in 1986.
Indeed, yes. And you can see how clear-headed and obviously very
Sober-minded everybody.
very sober-minded everybody is.
I can tell you just
I'm not sure if Lloyd was joking when he said there's no drugs or alcohol allowed.
I think that's just a legal.
That's probably, yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's a good legal statement to make on a DVD commentary.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Whether it's true or not, it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
You know what kind of guy you are?
This girl is super cute too. The
On the right?
yeah the friend girl who's like
She's-
excited to get weed.
So cute. I also, I forgot to mention, we were talking about the Cretans, that apparently the style of the Cretans was inspired by some of the fashions that Lloyd Kaufman saw doing film festivals in Europe for the Toxic Avenger. And he went to like Brussels and Holland, and some of the punkish fashions that some of the kids were wearing inspired some of these looks, which are so... I love the looks of the Cretans. They're just so gorgeously designed.
Yeah, they make the whole movie.
Yeah, for real. Like, I mean, just looking at them
Like
and
they're
their
80%
aesthetic.
of the movie.
Yeah, right, exactly. Their look and their attitudes, like the actors do such a great job. Their like weird facial expressions and stuff. The idea to have this guy wear a mouthpiece, like, and look at his little eyebrow thing. That was.
Got some dynamic, fantastic weed.
They're great salesmen. I love that he like basically plays the same person as he does in Toxic Avenger, except in Toxic Avenger he's always stressed. That's the only difference.
This is obviously way before, but this is totally Jay and Silent Bob right here. He's Jay with the long hair,
Oh yeah.
and that's Silent Bob with the big thing in his
They
mouth.
actually, Lloyd wanted him to have a more feminine look in his costume design, and he didn't want to do it. So they compromised with the kilt instead, and some like, you know, the longish hair that is obviously not really hair.
We call this weed an atomic
This is my favorite.
You should see what it
They really do make the movie.
It gets them real hot. They love it.
It also like the fact that they're bullies and like outlaw bikers kind of like makes it even more like strange that they're like, you know, like every other high school movie, like they're too old to be in high school, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
This is one of my favorite, that little quick montage cut. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And the Smithereens, they wanted the Smithereens to be in like crazy radiation costumes, but they're like, no, it's bad enough we have to be in the Troma movie, you know. It's enough of an insult. But I think this was the part.
Why
where,
is she chugging? Don't
why
drink
is she?
that.
Yeah, why is she chugging
Don't
suntan
drink
oil?
that. Or were you just dousing yourself in whiskey butter? Like, what are you doing?
I think there was a part of this. This was the part where Lloyd was talking about like they always try as much as possible to shoot in sequence, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, in
I
case
thi-
somebody walks off.
Right, and that's part of
Make
why
it
they
work.
did that. Yeah.
But you gotta film the nudity first. He said that.
Right, exactly. You try to get that out of the way. And also the exteriors he talked about. They for weather they tried to do those first.
A lot of good film theory from Lloyd in this.
Yeah, man.
Commentary.
Good stuff. I really need to watch those make your own damn movie.
I
Movies.
love this part here when this jerk off just rips off her towel thing,
Yeah, right.
and she has to like expose herself. It's like, wow.
And she's just like, what? And this, oh, I love that line.
the
This
Fellini
this
festival?
this is a Fellini film because, like, if you're not that familiar with Fellini, you wouldn't really understand why he would say that. But anyone who's seen 8.5, like, this is what it's like. Like, people think Fellini is like high art bullshit. But it's fucking spectacle. It's like a 3-ring circus, you know? Like, and this is totally like a Fellini film. It is. It's so funny. That's such a great joke.
And our first boobs of the film.
Are those the first boobs? Oh,
Yeah, because the girl who was in the basement, she didn't show her full boobs.
she did though.
She didn't
She
show her
did.
full boobs.
She
She just showed like a peek of boobs. She didn't
well,
show
there.
her full
Yeah,
boobs.
not both.
She didn't go nipple.
She didn't go, no, there was nipple. There's definitely nipple. I've seen this movie a bunch of times.
There's
Yeah. There was definitely nipple.
I didn't see nipple.
It might have been, I don't know, it's like the version, I don't know. But there's definitely nipple.
Here's some man nipple from our hero.
Also, that guy who just belched on, what's her name, is also the same dude who plays, who's Gonzo, with the nose rings.
Well,
I think it's him. So yeah, that's another staple of Troma films is people playing like multiple characters and shit.
also, this is a trope, I feel like, in 80s movies, is having, like, a themed party, you know? Like
Yes,
the
some kind of,
Toga
yeah.
party and in National Lampoons and
And
Bikini
it's become
Party.
it's become kind of a horror trope in a way, just because everybody does homages to it so much that it's just in horror constantly now. That's just becoming a now thing.
Uh-oh, time to toke up that fucking Atomic J.
So Gonzo, the guy that played Gonzo, also, in addition to being the belching weirdo, also is an editing assistant at Troma, and they just kind of like harangue. That's another Troma staple, is just haranguing like crew members and family members and friends.
Yeah, hit that shit.
Yeah, man, she's fucking
Go
goes cross-eyed hitting that shit. Yeah, that's how you do it. This is how you do it. I love the music cue when they hit the weed. It's funny because the first time when he tries to do it and he doesn't do it right, and the chick's like, "That's not how you do it." They don't put in the music cue, but when she does it, there's the music cue. Boom, ba-da-da. I love the way, and Lloyd kind of articulates this, the way that Warren and Chrissy, they play their characters so like 50s horror actors. Like, they play it straight, but like so over the top. It's so, it just like, yeah, the over the topness of all of the performances. Like, every single person who has like a decent sized role in this movie is doing shit like 110% all the time, and it just makes the movie, it gives it so much heart, you know? Like, it's like, just like, as stupid as it is, it's just like, these people clearly
So they
cared
went
a lot
to
about
a
this.
college party.
Yeah,
Now
that was the thing. He was going to
And
get
now
them
they're in someone's random ass
someone's bedroom
room from this frat.
in
They're
the frat, yeah,
Some random room they're about to fuck.
with beer cans and soda cans all over the floor. This is my favorite facial expression in the whole movie. I love this so much.
I mean, I don't even feel anything. I mean, how about you, Chrissy?
Ooh, Budweiser. You're canceled.
I mean, it's a cartoon. That's something from a cartoon. I love that. And there's another one coming up in like 2 minutes too. It's great.
I also think this movie in particular, the nudity and the sexiness is like in like that perfect like I'm 12 seeing
Yeah.
nudity for the first time kind of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
very
yeah.
juvenile, but like in a
But
sense,
like
in like
intentionally,
a sweet way.
intentionally, you
Yeah.
know, like this is like we're doing this like it's a 12-year-old. Like this movie was made by a 12-year-old on purpose.
Or it's for a 12-year-old. This movie's for
Yeah,
a
both
demented 12-year-old.
exactly. Yeah, both of those things for sure.
See, what other movie does a girl grab a guy's dick and he's like, oh,
What? Yeah.
this is his girlfriend, and he's still surprised with it. It's like,
I know,
holy
yeah.
shit.
Well, because they had that whole scene where they're like, they both don't want to push anything, they want to have sex, but they don't want to pressure each other, and the weed, the atomic high removes their inhibitions, you know? This is great. I love this. This is definitely... At first I was like, is this transphobic? But it's totally not. It's like, it's like trans, it's not, I mean, that person isn't trans,
Well,
as far as we know, but...
well, if it was a transphobic joke,
We don't get to go to the Flamey Festival.
Okay, it's from 1986.
It's yeah, exactly.
And if that literally is like the
No, but I'm
the
saying-
famous form of a transphobic
I'm
joke
saying,
in
like,
1986.
for 1986, that's progressive. To just be like, yeah, it's just a feminine-looking man, or
And they don't even
someone of
and that's one of the
nondescript
few
gender.
people they don't even insinuate is somehow this way because of the radiation.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
You know, it isn't the radiation causing it.
But there is, I mean, you know, like, Lloyd Kaufman speaking in, you know, the before times of whenever the fuck he recorded that director's commentary was talking about, like, you know, like, highlighting the gender confusion of the kid. But there is a lot of, like, gender, you know, that's another... Ooh! I love this guy on the left is, like, my favorite.
Oh, and then his binoculars.
I know, the binoculars with the eyes, I love
What a
that.
great gag.
I love it. And he's doing the tongue thing and then... But, like, there is a lot of, like, gender, like, androgyny and, like, iconoclasty of, you know, gender norms in these movies that, for the time, is, like, kind of progressive in its own way. You know, like, obviously it's not going to be, like, you know, by today's standards, super trans informed or affirming, but, like, for the time, the challenging of the gender norms that happens in a lot of these movies is, like, I mean, Terror Firmer is a movie that I just watched by Lloyd Kaufman, and it's, like, it's definitely transphobic at times, but it's also, like, extremely progressive in terms of portraying a trans character, you know, in the times that it was made in, like, the late 90s. Like, a lot of those films have a lot of that kind of, like, gender norm sort of...
I love how wholesome he is just to kiss her photo.
I know, right? That's such
before
a
bed.
little boyfriend moment.
And it's like her headshot.
And we're coming up on some more gender fucking, basically, like, of that's just, like, gender wiggly stuff is the kind of terms that some people use, but there's a lot of gender fuckery in Troma films that is, like, you know, it's Troma, so it's, like, offensive in a way, but it's also, like, you know, not just for the times, but even for now, like, some of it is very just, like, you know, we're just gonna fucking go for it and talk about this and do this weird joke and fucking, you know, some people might be offended by it, but it comes from a good place. It always seems obvious that it's coming from a good place somehow. You know what I mean?
And
now we have a giant mutated
morning boner.
atomic boner.
The size of a human.
The size of a very large human. And he's, like, super stoked at first. He's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. Why would you even be excited at that point? Like, that's just too... No. I mean, there's no reason to be excited.
You'll play basketball with that thing.
I know, right?
Could be your center.
She's got his picture too, look at that.
So wholesome.
And their picture together. The old photo negative trick. There's a lot of great, super basic film tricks in this movie. They use, you know, reverse filming a lot. They use the photo negative thing a lot. And to really great effect. Like, that's a really cool, you know, for 1986, for a movie that had probably zero budget. That looks cool as shit. And this fucking looks amazing. Like, they have some... the things that they do with the budget that they have are like...
Girl, it's a prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about those boobs.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Just gonna smile to that part.
Remember that time you
So
touched
he's
boobs?
basically...
Yeah. And then he grows some boobs. He's thinking about the boobs so much that he grows his own boobs.
Makes sense.
It does, yeah.
What's weird to me is how he becomes sort of a toxic Avenger in this movie now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like
The
low-key.
slow transformation. So, now I'm wondering, like, they said they hallucinated that. Did they? Did they really hallucinate that? Or did they just go back to normal and then continue mutating slowly
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting. Deep thoughts.
Usual, I guess. Why?
Did they hallucinate? Did they not?
Got sick, that's why.
I don't know. Maybe that really happened.
Anyway, you got wasted. That's sick. There it is.
Wasted.
I got wasted, then I got sick. Look, I started hallucinating. Where'd you get that shit from anyway? From the Cretans.
The Cretans. Lloyd also talks a lot about like the emphasis that they put on background action,
Yeah.
and that like sometimes his actors actually get mad at him that he's like spending too much time with the background people.
I love her outfit here. Unicorn rainbow t-shirt.
Yeah.
Pigtails.
The
like,
fucking
just
most
so innocent.
innocent, yeah. Especially after she just lost her virginity. That's the perfect outfit of like, no, I'm totally still innocent.
But, have you ever, hallucinated?
You too?
Yeah.
Did they though?
Where did Eddie get that stuff?
Those damn Cretans.
Oh, great.
So much 7-Up in this movie. Love it.
I know they got free 7-Up for like putting the 7-Up in the movie. Lloyd was talking about how they do that a lot. They like hustle items like the motorcycles they got for free because they were gonna feature them in the movie.
And 7-Up is still the most popular brand in the world.
And there's
thanks to their
Popeyes.
advertisement in this movie.
Yeah, no, right. And there's Popeye's chicken in that scene too. This is Jennifer Baptist. We just talked about how they met, and this is them too. Them together.
Whoa, they would become the power couple.
Well, I think they were a couple in Toxic Avenger too.
Oh, okay.
They were together.
So that's why they made out.
Yeah.
It was convenient. Got it. I love it. Yeah.
I love her like sort of fighting him off, but clearly not interested in actually getting him off her.
It's his seductive radiation powers.
Yeah, right. She's really hot too.
Yeah.
Love those little cartoon moments of like.
Don't need German for beginners anymore.
Yeah, well, you heard him like speaking fluent German to her too, right? Is this her?
That's what I
Is
thought.
this her transformation into?
That's what I thought. That's how I interpreted it.
Because Lloyd was saying that they took the scene out of her transformation, but they put it back in later. But I think this is it. Yeah, and they're making out, so that's her.
It's probably the director's cut.
Yeah, I think it is. But there's also, I want to watch. There's also a version on TromaNow called the Up All Night version. That's the version that aired on USA's Up All Night. That actually has scenes that aren't in the director's cut, even though it's shorter.
What?
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah, because they had to cut out all the good parts. So.
Right. So I guess they added stuff too to make up the difference.
And half your plot is about sex, so what the fuck do you do?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You can't have all those boobs and shit. Yeah.
I really like the camera work too. Like,
Yeah.
I like how they switch between like the POVs.
That's a cool shot right
Yeah.
there. The just the feet
Mm-hmm.
is like that's disorienting. You can't really see what's going on. And this whole thing, I love this concept. Like from concept to execution to like the finished product, they had in mind everything they wanted to do. It's obvious because this is such a cool little through line of him like triggering electronics with his radiation. Like it's such a cool little scene to put in there. Yeah, time to take a hit. We are, of course, this being 420, we are partaking of the magic herbs.
No, like Lloyd Kaufman, we don't allow any drugs.
We don't allow drugs, yeah, that's right.
We don't allow any drugs. Drugs are bad.
You know what's funny? In the director's commentary, Lloyd calls the record player a phonograph. That's how old he is.
I It's also with all these fade to blacks. I feel like there should be like commercials. In between,
It seems
you
like
know?
yeah,
Like,
it's
like almost like
the fade to blacks are the give it a TV movie feel because those are where commercials go.
Maybe it's to give the effect of like those made-for-TV movies are supposed to be like warning you away from drugs and
Yeah.
gangs. And
Well, he talks about that
all
too.
this
Like
sorts
this,
of
like
stuff.
he
Oh, this is awesome.
part
This
of
is
the
such a great
yeah.
gag.
I know this like totally random. There's a scene almost exactly like this in the Toxic Avenger also, where they just pretend to be helping an old lady. This one they pretend to need help, but in the other one they pretend to help an old lady and then just for no reason whatsoever punch her in the stomach and start beating the shit out of her. I love these two guys in Toxic Avenger in this movie. Like, I wish they had done more stuff because, like, their chemistry together, but just also, like, their fucking... The way that they ham it up in these roles is so, like half the entertainment value comes from these two guys, in my opinion.
I wish he had like bitten down on the bag and like.
And he spit the fucking Alka-Seltzer in her face,
man.
which nobody knew was gonna happen.
Well,
So yeah, she got the royal treatment, man. And he's just beating the shit out of her for no reason. I love that. I love the fact that you can see the cigarette burns in the upper right-hand corner of this video, home video.
and I think this
And she's just like dying.
is this the only time we see this other punk just to get murdered here?
Yeah, he never does anything again. He just gets murdered and that's it. That's one of the people that I guess walked off because they couldn't afford to pay
What
him.
the hell is
I
that?
don't know. Looks like Warren Grant.
Also, he talked about
He's practically the Hulk. He's just like turning green.
yeah, you're right.
Going over there.
He's becoming the Toxic Avenger, essentially. But yeah, Lloyd talked about they used bladders or balloons underneath plastic skin to get that like pulsating effect, which is really cool, I think.
If Lloyd could pull it off, anyone could do it.
And just like people blowing into them.
Whoa.
And this effect coming up where he shoves his fist down the guy's throat, I kind of, like, I don't know how they did that. Like, it looks so good. Especially considering the budget I'm sure they had. Like,
I'm just really gotta swallow that
it
fish.
looks as real as it can look. Like, you could fist in the mouth, and then a little bit more in the mouth, and then, like, I guess that's a... But
His
that looks
head's-
real. That
his-
looks like his...
His head's in a thing, you know?
Yeah. But his fist is going through the... I don't know, yeah, it's like...
Head's in a thing.
It's
You,
really
well,
good.
I think what I think you do is you just do like the real head above the jaw,
Oh,
and
okay.
then everything under the
Oh,
bottom
yeah.
jaw is fake.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know?
That makes sense.
Come on, Spike. You
Um...
must remember something.
Lloyd also talked about filming. He likes to film actual locations, but it often presents problems. So, like this scene, they had to do a lot of like.
ADR.
No, they don't. I don't think they do it. They like to get location sound, so they don't.
Why does this guy have hair coming out of his?
I know he's got hair. Like
He's
that's
so
one of the
punk,
actual
he's got
mutations.
hair
That's one of the actual mutations
coming out
that
of
they
his
have.
cheeks.
But
Or
so
is he
they
just like a reverse Coolio? Like,
they just had to get like wide shots that were, you know, I don't know. They did something with the editing where they had shots that because the smashing of the cars is really loud. So they like got wide shots a certain way and then like cut it in with shots of the cars being destroyed and like tight shots of this. So like, yeah, that was a really interesting. I wish I could describe it better, but
I love
that's
this
basic.
kosher connection.
I know this like
Sure.
very stereotypical Jewish gym teacher for some
She's
reason.
in the kosher connection, baby.
Kosher connection.
She's almost like a teacher out of like. She reminds me of like the Professor Trelawney in Harry Potter with her giant ass glasses.
Yeah. That's the spirit. I love that.
Yeah, girl, you smoke too much marijuana, girl.
That you got pregnant. I love these effects, man. Like,
This is like the part of the movie that I feel like you should show this movie to high school kids.
yeah, right. A
You know,
cautionary
in, like,
tale.
their sex education class.
Don't have sex. You could become pregnant with a mutant fetus, baby.
Is this what you want out of your life, people? Do you want to puke?
And then throws it up. Yeah, I
A,
love that.
a poop sperm baby?
It looks so gross coming out of her mouth too.
Sorry, that'll
The-
pay off later, kids.
The sound that the thing makes, they get a lot of mileage out of that sound. Like, it's so much of how fucking creepy that thing is the sound that it makes.
I also feel like this movie, the way I love the shot of the dude walking backwards and then he's holding the body. I just that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, those are when
And
handing
it's
over
like
it.
slightly disorienting.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the way this movie's structured, it feels like every like 3 minutes there's either someone screaming or an ambulance or a screech or a loud wail or
Yeah.
like, you know.
It keeps you on your toes, man. Also, check this out. In the background here, you can
Oh, the
see
piss.
co-director Richard W. Haynes
Well,
pouring piss in and out of, and then throwing it in this guy's face. Yes, that is the co-director right there, throwing piss in people's faces.
looks like a young Alfred Molina.
Yeah, he does.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah. I can't believe that's young Boogie Nights. Feels like a modern movie.
Chrissy. Did they stop making girls named Chrissy and
Yeah, right.
after 1989?
I guess so.
Where did they all
Yeah.
Where'd all the Chrissies go?
I don't know.
Tell me what happened.
Like every like, I've known Christies,
Hmm.
but never any Chrissies.
You don't meet a lot of Chrissies. That's a very like 80s, 90s. Nice.
Your penis.
I have a total crush on this girl too. She's super
She's
cute.
got nice lips. Yeah, flush it.
I love that she
For
has the
someone that was
wherewithal
so scared
to flush
to
it.
still flush it.
Yeah, I know,
I'm gonna
right?
handle this and have a heart attack at the same time.
That's one of those things like I always think. Well, now it's become such a thing.
Oh, this is my favorite
I love this.
shot in the movie. I
This-
think,
the
I had to take
reverse
a
film.
screenshot. This is going in the thumbnail. They are my favorite shot. There we go.
There, yeah.
That's it. That's all they get in the movie, but they stole the whole movie.
Yeah. Another great reverse film trick. Love that. He talked about like they turn the camera upside down and shoot that and shoot them throwing the plates in.
Uh-huh.
And I was wondering like why they do it upside down. I guess it's because they have to like flip the film when they put it in, right? Because they flip it, you know, horizontally. Like they flip it long ways
You weren't so upset with
in the reel. So I guess they have to film it upside down so that it's right side up.
You want to see something weird?
I'm too high to understand
Yeah.
why you would need to hold your camera upside down for any reason.
Well, because, okay, there's a strip of film that's like this, and in order to reverse it, you have to flip it like this, so that it's not backwards. And so, then it's upside down.
Now you're just talking me into pointing the camera in reverse. That makes no sense. I don't understand.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're
The
too high.
Laser dick joke.
Okay, here we go. John Dillinger, penis lore.
Yeah, like the point.
So I don't like not understanding references, so I had to look this up. because we don't talk about John Dillinger in the 21st century like they did.
Also, just a
In
quick
1986.
digression that this is the guy that plays Dr. Snodberger in Toxic Avenger, who explains that the monster is drawn to attack only bad people. And he also, which is really funny that his name is Dr. Snodberger, and then he does that.
So for kids of the
And here
60s,
he's drinking out of a beaker.
so for kids in the 60s, aka when Lloyd Kaufman was
A child, yeah.
in college or whatever, it was like common to refer to your penis as your Dillinger, because John Dillinger, bank robber in the 30s, supposedly had a huge cock. To the point where various urban legends sprung up about fucking his sexual prowess
And all because of one picture.
yeah. And supposedly J. Edgar Hoover had his dismembered penis
Right.
in a jar on his desk, like shit gets wild. But that's why he calls the fucking
Yeah.
laser his Dillinger.
So there was this one picture of him on the autopsy table with people crowded around him, like, marveling. And there's this tent in a very conspicuous place, but it looks like it's more towards his navel. So it's probably just like an arm in rigor mortis or something, but nonetheless, this legend becomes, ubiquitous, and now that's a whole thing. I love this right here of him, suck it, gesturing in his little cod piece as, like, jerking off, like...
Yeah.
There is no problem. I paid you for those joints.
Time to buy more. Love it.
Also, the stereotype of a nerd in a sweater with a bow tie and glasses that would persist through the 90s.
Well, and also I think it's kind of funny that in this movie that there's a couple characters like that. There's Dewey, of course, who dies immediately, but the other ones that I can think of are both stoners, both like regular customers of the Cretans for their marijuana, which I think is an interesting move to make. Like, that's not necessarily the stereotype in 1986.
Yeah, I just think the Cretans, since they were the honor society, they sell these.
They sell to the nerds.
They
That's
sell
a
to
good
their
point.
friends, you know?
That's a good point.
The audience, they know. Oh no! Don't break your hands.
He does, and they use the same scream like 3 times for him in this scene.
So why is he so much like? His abilities have really increased from smoking atomic weed.
Yeah, he's becoming Toxic Avenger. I'm telling you, it's
But
like,
no one else has have.
But no one else, yeah.
And you'd imagine they'd have smoked way more than him by now.
Yeah, right. Or maybe the Cretans, because they know it's mutated weed, they don't actually smoke that weed.
Anymore, maybe. Yeah, listen for a long
Well,
while.
do they know it's contaminated? They didn't see the barrels leaking onto the. They just got it from the fucking guy.
No, they trust. Everyone has a common trust in the power
In
plant
institutions,
to keep them safe.
Yeah, totally.
This
I love the little, the posters they have in the nuclear power plant. We live in the completely safe and, efficient nuclear energy.
Well, nuclear power is still considered clean energy.
Well, no, I mean, but that's the...
It's crazy to think
That's
that,
how overt the satire is,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, in the movie, is what I'm saying. Like, they're really, in case you didn't get that this movie is anti-nuclear power, here's this fucking sign. I love that it just, pushes them off. Cheers.
What's going on here, Bob?
in your permanent record.
this. I'm one of them.
I love when he grabs the guy's boob, and he's like, hey, stop that!
All of you.
I thought this was gonna pay off a joke where they're trying to put that bone in a filing cabinet or something.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness. Why is there a what I assume is a used condom? Or 2? Maybe more?
She's keeping it for later.
He's got hairs on the back, too, that are, like, multicolored.
Oh, I love the fart.
The fart in his face, yeah, man. You gotta have that.
Hey,
Hey, straight for the
stop
boobs.
that.
Stop it.
What's happened to you people? 6 months ago, you were the honor society, not a drug-pushing gang of thugs. I have no choice in the matter. You've had several warnings. I'll have to recommend immediate expulsion for all of you.
Kiss my ass, you old fart.
I love Muffy's delivery, too. Like, not just here, but the whole movie, all of her deliveries are just so, like...
Man, it's a free country. We'll go wherever we want. Not in my
It's like she's just extending all of her vowels.
We'll be back.
We're the youth today.
God bless America, Limp Dick.
She's so great. I love it. And this, like, random thing where they just break out into... And Gonzo's singing is the best. His little... They change keys randomly because I guess they came back and filmed the rest of this. And he's into it, man. Yeah.
So this movie's perfect for the 4th of July. as
Also,
well.
yeah, man, it's great for all holidays. It's
Patriotism.
great for any occasion. Yeah, I love this movie. Oh my god. So much. The first and still the best. Well, my first.
I think this is like the 4th time we've seen just that opening shot.
I know, yeah.
With like 2 or 3 people
With
walking
the same
up.
2 or 3 people, yeah.
Just walking up.
The rats, I love the rats. I'm not sure what this is about. That just people start random. I love that he just like walks right over him. And the noise that this guy makes. It sounds like fucking Chewbacca or something. Also, Lloyd talks about like those little sticks that they use. I love this. He just like, hey, you want some beer, man?
Some beer will fix it.
That those little sticks that they use for the measuring radiation are just basically just like umbrella sticks with a little piece of cardboard stuck on the end. And he was talking about how like Geiger counters and radiation equipment are really like were really hard to find for this. They had to do a lot of legwork to find all of those Geiger counters and little measuring devices and shit.
I get this class. See you later, right?
Look.
What the hell are they doing here? Ice?
Yeah, I love it.
It's a biology class. Are you serious?
Wait, does he have a girlfriend again now?
Yep.
What did they do?
Is it the same one from the beginning?
I think so.
It kind of, yeah, I don't remember exactly what she looks like,
Missing
but
for the important part
she
of the party.
seems, yeah. Because she slapped him, and we assume that means that, like, they broke up, but... Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird sort of inconsistency, maybe. That they just didn't even think about, like... He has a girlfriend, and then he doesn't, and then he does. I love this guy. This guy, his name is Skip Hamra. And he plays... He plays this guy. He plays a police officer in Toxic Avenger who has some really funny lines.
I can't breathe in this thing.
With good, I can't breathe. He's smoking a cigarette.
Oh shit!
He's got the Bruce Springsteen
Oh my god! What I
headband.
just realized?
Hmm.
The survival crackers, the symbol on them, is the same symbol that's on the Cretan dude's head.
Oh,
On his
really?
paint, it's the circle with the triangle.
Oh shit!
I was trying to think like what that symbol means, and I think that's what it is.
Their nose in here.
See? The
That's
circle
really
with the
interesting.
triangle
That's really
and
interesting.
the line. It's
I
basically-
never noticed that. This is my 9th time. I never noticed that. I love his little facial expressions here. Hmm?
Is that a Confederate flag bandana? he's
I
wearing?
think it's just the American flag. It looks like American flag to me. It's like a Bruce Springsteen thing. Why would you even... He plays it so well, this, like, totally put off, fucking, like, doesn't want to be here, fucking authority figure, like, lackey.
Oh, no.
Why would you even want it back? Like, that's not usable anymore.
Just gotta do his job, bro.
That does it.
Need the
I'm
tools.
getting out of here.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's a really good plan. If you would just do that. But, no.
That smell.
Yeah, weird smell. You definitely have to, like, check that out.
So is that weed smell or fart smell?
Weed smell, yeah. Or weed fart smell. Or fart weed smell.
The hell is making that noise?
I'll tell you what. Yeah, great makeup effects there. And the dummy body looks really good. Oh, I love that little tree.
And he took his picture with his mask on. That's great.
I didn't even notice that.
He took his security picture with his mask on.
That's awesome. I forgot to mention at the beginning. A dry fart. That's one of my favorite little continuity jokes. At the very beginning of the movie, he says, "I don't give a wet fart what you think." And then, like, halfway through the movie, he says dry fart. And it's just like, it's
poetry.
so good. I love that. But I forgot to mention the part at the beginning. He's so good. I love him. There's a part at the beginning where he's saying, like, we don't think that this has anything to do with our power plant. In fact, we happen to know that kid who fucking mutated had not one, but 2 microwave ovens, which we believe to be a contributing factor. It's such great, like, corporate speak writing. I love that.
The music's awesome here, too.
Yeah, this song is great.
Picks up, great montage. That's, we don't get enough montages in modern movies, but in these movies, plenty of montages.
But this song has played already. They just use. I love how they use like 4 or 5 songs to such great effect. Because they're great songs.
How's it going? Lousy, man. It's going
Oh my gosh, she's so hot.
Wow. I know, dude. She really
See,
is.
he's got the symbol. It's in an A.
Oh, right, yeah.
Still more of an A.
The circle with the... Well, that's like anarchy. The anarchy symbol. The circle with the A.
It was Warren Brad that got us kicked out of school, right?
So this guy, this guy now is bloated. Hair
Which-
face?
Hair face?
Yeah, he's bloated
He's
now.
bloated. I didn't even...
Maybe
He
this.
wasn't bloated like that before.
This, I don't get this. Maybe this will give you an idea. And then he points to the cars being crushed. But they just go fuck up the school. Like,
They're crushing the school.
they're just... Yeah, I mean, is it just like, oh, it's he's referring to destruction, right.
Chaos.
But I was like... When the first time I saw this movie, I was like, are they gonna, like, crush the principal's car? Like... This is great. I love this thing he does here.
Evacuation Muffy, you get Chrissy, take her to Taru. She's down in the fallout.
Oh, I'd love to get Christy. I can't wait to see what
Oh, she's definitely bi.
Yeah.
This... Trying to attract attention? Genius. Such great writing. Fucking Shakespeare, man. Look at that lighting. Look at that. I love that.
Oh, and I forgot to mention before, but they do some interesting shots with the stairway too. Like when people coming downstairs and they do like an up shot from under the stairs. Like
that is a really long gun.
I wonder how much of that is Lloyd or how much of that is
Yeah.
Blaine.
He talked about, like, for a long time he he directed photography because they couldn't find someone willing to do it who was better than him. And then they finally started finding people who were better than him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nobody does that. Nobody rejects my rape kiss.
So who's this?
Yeah, this is a new Cretan too.
Is this
isn't
a
it?
random new super hot
I
Cretan
don't
out of
remember.
nowhere?
I feel like she was in.
She wasn't in the group scene.
Was she?
No. Unless that's a redress of the teacher who's not here. The teacher's
No,
not
yeah,
here.
it's not the teacher. Yeah.
The teacher's like, no, I can't do that. I work there.
Yeah.
I need to go home. I need to pay my taxes. That's not the teacher.
No, it's not. Why is everyone trying to rape kiss her and then getting mad at her for not wanting to? I mean, I know why, obviously. This is, I love this, and I think it's Lloyd said it's a stunt person who does this great pratfall on.
Yeah, it's clearly a dude.
Oh, it's so, or like convulsing and shit, or his, I guess, because it's a stunt guy.
It's a little. This is the one part of the movie that I guess doesn't age well for modern audiences. Is the school shooting part of it. But it's only a second.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
Can I have your attention,
I love this. This is like my favorite part.
Not a drill.
This is not a drill.
I repeat.
This is not a drill. I love that so much. He's so good, man. I want to see more of
and
him.
the school was full, but nobody noticed the gunshots outside.
Yeah, right.
No one took notes.
Or inside.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's such a cliche joke of the 80s, 90s movies is let's all leave in an orderly fashion and then everyone just tramples over each other.
Like, if you showed this to high school students, this is every high school fear in one movie.
Yeah.
All boiled into one.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I was definitely constantly worried that there was going to be a nuclear explosion nearby. And
Obviously. The power plant a quarter of a mile away.
the nuclear age anxieties. But I mean, this really, I mean, like, as an 80s movie, this definitely captures a moment in the sort of history of the nuclear age anxieties, and it was like at a fever pitch probably in the 80s with all the nuclear power plants that were coming into being. So
It was only a few years away from Threads, you know?
from
Threads, the British movie.
oh, the Threads of the movie, yeah. Yeah, I just watched that recently. Oh my god, that's a bleak fucking movie. So good though, amazing movie.
Toxic vapors.
This is, I think this is the point in the movie where I'm like, you know, if they land this is gonna be one of my all-time favorite movies, and like the best is yet to come.
Give that to him. They'll believe you.
Time for some blood sucking, blood drinking.
Just needs a little more weed
Blood
smoking.
play.
A little more weed smoking. But I think Lloyd actually wanted this to be a little bit more of an anti-drug movie.
Did the sequels have more possibilities?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything with pot smoking in any of the sequels. Maybe like Return to Return has something, because it has everything. That fucking movie, oh my god. That's probably my favorite sequel. Return to Nuke'em High. which is the most recent. I think it came out in 2017, and Lloyd directed it. And it's just balls fucking out, non-stop. It's so great.
So
This is such a cool fucking image. And look at this. I love that camera work. The camera just like kind of all over the place and like looking at them. And those first person, those shots of them on the bikes from up close, those are so great. There's so much great action.
Yeah, this is a great montage. This is fun.
Yeah,
This is fun.
it's so fun. And the of course you gotta have the cliche throwing the shit off of the roof and stuff. Karate kicking the books. Yeah, man.
It would be so much work to bring desks up to the roof and throw them up.
I know, right?
So much work. Oh, he
Smashing the
destroyed
globe.
world.
Just destroyed the world. His fucking dildo codpiece is so ridiculous. Does he have one too? Is that or is that that was the same guy?
None of the same one.
That was. It just they made it look like it was Spike, but it was Gonzo.
You should do a poll on Twitter when we release this
Yeah.
with each of the Cretans and have people vote on their
Their favorite Cretan.
favorite Cretan.
Mine's got to be Gonzo for sure.
I think Muffy's gonna win.
Muffy, yeah, Muffy would probably be my number 2.
He's popular.
Muffy's great though.
What do you want from
His
me?
like unhinged performance here is so great. Bob Pritchard, who plays Spike. He's so just like hamming it up. I love it.
What should I slice on first, huh?
Oh my god, it's about to get real good. So, and Lloyd was talking about like there's no full shots of the monster because they didn't have the budget to make a whole monster, so they made like a head and like part of a torso and one arm and like the crazy tail that grabs everybody. But that's all they could do. So that it's like strategically filmed, of course, to hide that fact. But oh my god, the design of this monster is so good. And he was talking about like when they first put it all together, it looked like a child's paper mache project. But once they put all that goo on it, it just like came to life. And boom! Yes, punching right through your fucking head. So good. And then the fucking goo that fucking oozes out of the fucking thing. Oh my god.
And that's their child.
This is where
Their child.
I said this is the greatest movie of all time. This was like, yes, this is perfect. 10 out of 10.
And that's really the youth of tomorrow. It's the youth of tomorrow.
Well, they said they're the youth of today, which is a great hardcore band from the 80s and 90s.
Well,
80s and 90s? Something like that. They use that scream so much that appears like 5 or 6 times in this movie.
I thought they took away his bone. Why did
That's
they have his
literally
bone?
not possible. Yeah, they
They
like.
confiscated it. How did it come back?
I guess he found it in the office because they were in the
I
office.
think he had it in the junkyard too.
Did he?
Good cuts. Perfectly normal with the plan.
Why'd the alarm go off?
I don't know, but I'm about to find out.
Where you go? We can't go in there.
He's so villainous too. Like it's not just that he's fat, like which is obviously problematic, but he's such a great villain. He's such a great corporate villain too. Like even though he's just the mayor in Toxic Avenger, he's definitely like backroom deals, fucking
I love
part
the-
of the mafia.
I love the cackling, like salacious crowd.
Yeah, And that fucking arm just boom and fucking just like puts his eyes out. The monster looks so badass, and to know that like they didn't even make a full monster, but you still get the impression of this huge full monster is such great filmmaking. I love this too, the way that Gonzo mourns the death. Or I don't know, he's not dead here, but does he eventually die, or because he's not moving?
He died.
He howls.
He's dying.
He howls.
No.
And then Lloyd talks about the way that they got these shots of the tail. He licks him too. What the fuck? I love that. The way that they got these shots of the thing, of the tail wrapping around, is they wrapped it around and then filmed in reverse and of it unraveling. And then you get that great, I love that shot of the eye coming out. And you gotta, like, that's like a half-second shot. It must have taken them hours to put that together just to get a half-second of it. To put that model together and then to get the thing right to where it pushes through and everything. Like, but it's so worth all that time because it's such a great shot. It just adds so much to the movie. And then boom! Spraying the monster in the face. Oh no! I love that.
Keep riding.
Yeah, why'd you stop? Like, what the fuck?
Keep going. Let's go.
Look at that. Oh, like, beautiful fucking design.
No, yeah, Muffy run.
Rip is. I love this that there's spines still sticking out because that seems like what would happen. You just like rip his skull off of his spine. It's gonna still be there a little bit, you know.
In Mortal Kombat, the spine like goes up.
It pulls out.
Dangles.
Pulls out into the I feel like I haven't focused enough on her hair because of the Hitler mustache, but that hair
She's got
is
a corset,
wild.
She's got a vest.
And she's got that like stitching painting on her face that is like so cool looking.
Almost like a Franken Hitler.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hitlerstein.
I'm sure there's some kind of Frankenstein Hitler movie in the Troma catalog.
I'm sure of it.
There's gotta be.
I'm sure of it.
That little music cue that they use so many times, that da-da-da, is such a great little device.
Bro, who left their chemical experiments going, bro?
I know, right? There's just a beaker just like fucking doing shit. There's machines that seem to be on, maybe. This is a very hazardous, there's acid everywhere. There's so many hazards in this game.
When they evacuated the school, they fucked up.
Yeah, I guess right.
Get up.
That's on the science teacher, man. Leave all that shit going.
Spike, listen. I know where that thing is out there. And if you kill us, you're not gonna get out of here alive either. Well, I never died. I ain't the question.
Oh my god.
All I know is you're gonna die.
Bob Pritchard just hamming it up. So good. I love it.
Say goodbye, Chrissy.
Chrissy.
Sorry, we just didn't get to know each other a little better.
Cunt. Oh, this, I love this. This looks so bad. And he just like settles on his dick. Oh, it's so great. This is great too because you can, it's kind of, you can kind of tell that he's basically just doing this himself. Like, just like moving in that direction and pulling himself. It's so good. This is like the best kill. I love this. The fact that they paid off like the spines in a way that you didn't even expect, but like, oh my god. Beautiful. What a great idea. I just, that's so cool.
Chrissy.
Oh shit. Better get out your Dillinger. Look at that goop. So much goop. I love it. That's like the most of the monster you see right there. Like 2 arms. Yeah, get him. Boom. More photo negative fucking mastery. I love this. This looks so cool and it's like super cheap, but like I love this. It looks so badass. And the face that that this guy makes when the building explodes is like the greatest thing ever.
What happened down there?
Get lost, you stupid kids! Here it goes again. This is actually, there's some footage in there of a building that they actually heard there was a building being demolished, and they went and filmed some of these shots. So there's some of that cut in there with like what I assume is a model, probably. And there's also they were throwing like styrofoam painted at the kids.
I have your attention, please. Your attention, please. Tromaville High School will be temporarily closed for remodeling.
It's a good thing
The ultimate happy ending.
PA system still works.
I know, right? The whole school's destroyed, but the PA system still works. That face! What the fuck? The ultimate happy ending. School is closed.
School's canceled forever.
Yes.
You think college is gonna be this wild or what? I hope so!
I feel like this line kind of sets you up for like, oh, the sequel's gonna be
A college movie.
I think it is actually. I think the second one, but not with these people. It's like a whole new cast of characters, and also they rebuild the plant, and the kids, the school is in the power plant now, and the kids work in the power plant,
Whoa.
which is fucking genius.
Synergy.
Yeah, the second one. The second Class of Nuke'em High and the second Return to Nuke'em High are definitely the 2 best sequels. This is really interesting, like, is that a monster baby that the monster had? Did the monster mutate back into what it was before?
Or were they not hallucinating the first time, like you said?
Or
Was
were
the
they...
first baby?
the first baby. It could be the first baby.
Hallucination baby.
Oh, man. That's interesting.
And we've made it to the credits. Thank you, Janelle Brady.
Nuke'em High.
Played Chrissy for entertaining us.
What is going on at Nuke'em High? What the fuck?
We just found out.
Yeah, well, that's true.
A lot of stuff.
We just found out. Yeah, like, why are they still asking what's going on in Nuke'em High? We just saw the movie. We saw everything that happened in Nuke'em High. Ever.
So
It's such a great song. I was trying to find the soundtrack, like just a CD, but they don't have CDs. They only have LPs of the soundtrack on this website that I go to for like to buy used music from people, and they're all like $50. Like no one's gonna let this go for less than like crazy prices. So one day I'm gonna get that shit because it's such a great soundtrack. I love these songs. The Smithereens fucking had a song. You're like, oh man.
I'm sure if you went thrifting, it would turn up eventually.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, man, I love this movie. There's so many great things about this movie. It checks so many boxes for me. And I fell in love the first time, and this is my 9th time, and I love it as much as the first time. I love it more every time. So
Thank you, Accent on Handbags.
yeah, these are all the people, all the
Helping
companies
make
that
this
they
movie.
hustled shit from. They
The ASPCA,
hustled free shit
Converse,
in exchange for a placement.
Dunkus Swimwear.
this fucking song.
Whoa. Famous
Fucking
Ray's Pizza, holla. Froze Fruits.
Kosher Connection, that's a real
Kosher
thing.
Connection, oh shit.
I thought that was
Nail
fake.
Power, what's that? Miss Grimble.
The New York Mets, that's interesting. Popeyes, obviously. Is 7-Up gonna be last or was it first? Maybe it was first.
So Jose?
Because all the thes are in the T's.
Or
So yeah, there it is, 7-Up.
7-Up Company.
But it's not in any place where it should be. It's between U and W.
It's a 7, it's an up.
That doesn't make
It's
any
because of
sense.
U, it's because of the U and up.
Power of imagination.
And, yeah. So, check out Into the Void. Available on Bandcamp right now.
Also, currently working on a heavy metal musical where each song is going to be a different genre of heavy metal, and I'm really excited. I've got some really good stuff going. I'm working on some punk stuff. I'm working on some like blackened death and roll. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. but-
Yeah, I know. It's like mixture of like black metal, death metal, and like just like rock and roll that I'm really excited about. A little bit of Andrew WK influence in there, maybe. So I got a lot of good stuff coming up. So ad infinitum, patreon.com/ad infinitum, adinfinitum.bandcamp.com for my album. And that's all the I's are replaced with ones in ad infinitum. So that's all my plugs, I think, and just kind of listen to the rest of Angel by GMT.
Hell yeah.
It's such a great song.
Check out our Twitters at Vundacast and at Vundablog. Give us a follow. Give some likes, give some retweets, etc. Also on YouTube, Vundacast Productions. Everything we do ends up on YouTube eventually. And yeah, that's what's going on. It's been a good 420.
It has been a good 420. I've watched so many fucking weed movies today. Like, I think this is my 7th of the day.
Power. You just recently saw Renfield. You liked it?
I did. Oh my god. This is my 2023 movie of the year so far.
Whoa.
Unless we're counting Holy Shit, because that came out last year in Germany, but it came out this year in the US, so that's probably going to be on my list at the end of the year when we do our special Vundacast list. But no, Renfield is definitely at least number 2. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. It's so fun. The gore is amazing. The action set pieces are amazing. Nick Holt is amazing. Ben Schwartz, I didn't even know was in the movie. I think they fucked up the marketing for this because those trailers don't show near enough Nick Cage. Mm-hmm. They don't have Ben Schwartz in any of the trailers. I didn't even know he was in the movie, and that's a selling point. Mm-hmm. And like even Nick Cage was talking about, the director Chris McKay talked about this is actually a direct sequel to the 1921 whatever it was Dracula, 1931 I think it was, Dracula, and he's not fucking around about that. There's a whole sequence at the beginning of the movie where they play out the scenes from 1931 Dracula. Whoa. With Nick Cage and Nicholas Hoult digitally replaced in the movies. It's so amazing. I love this movie. I love this fucking movie. I can't wait to watch it again.
I'm hyped to watch it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's gonna replace whatever the top Nick Cage movie is in the new Cage-a-thon.
I think so, man.
Marathon.
This has to be one of my favorite Nick Cage performances. It might be my favorite. I have to watch it a few more times, but I think it might be my favorite Nick Cage performance. It's exactly what you think and want it to be, you know?
Benicio del Toro always wanted to play a Wolfman. I think that Nick Cage always wanted to play Dracula.
Well, he got, Vampire's Kiss early on in his career, and, I mean, this is kind of like a similar performance to that, except he's Dracula, so it actually makes sense that he's talking and acting like this. Mm-hmm. And so, but he's so Nick Cage in this movie, it's fucking glorious.
You heard it here first, folks, and, I'm gonna have to get a movie pass soon, because I gotta do Evil Dead Rise, and Renfield, and...
Yeah, Renfield is my movie of the year for the next week until I see Evil Dead Rise, and then that's probably my movie of the year.
Yeah. I have been your host, Steven.
I have been your co-host, the They of Theys, D-Rock.
Remember, kids, when you're studying for your finals at Nuke'em High, if you can't study, just, blow up the school.
Yeah, and then school's canceled forever.
You don't have to worry about it. You automatically get into college.
Yeah, they're all just grandfathered in.
White privilege.
Oh my god. One of these days we need to talk about Beavis and Butthead discovering white privilege.
Hail Thunder. Hail Thunder.
Vundacast? Give it up for Vundacast, man. What an adorable name.
You're listening to the Vundacast.
What's up, everybody? This is Jason David Frank, Green Ranger. You're listening to Vundacast.
You can find it at Vundacast, and I know they love Effie.
Subscribe to the Vundacast.